There are plenty of incredible looking games launching in 2023. Some of them are MMOs, some of them are single player RPGs. One of the games that truly stands out to me, however, is Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade is a brand new action game developed by Shift Up, the studio behind Destiny Child. The game, not the band with Beyonce. And no, this is not a mobile game before anyone asks, with the character designer behind Blade and Soul, which is immediately evident after watching 5 seconds of gameplay footage. But why am I excited? Why are players looking forward to playing it? That's what we're here today to discuss. What exactly Stellar Blade is, and whether we should be anticipating it with any type of eagerness. Before we discuss Stellar Blade in detail, however, allow me to thank our patrons over on Patreon. You guys are part of the reason why I get to continue to push out videos like these, and I greatly appreciate all of you. Also, if you have a moment, consider following me over on Twitch. I stream there every weekend. Stellar Blade is a third-person action RPG developed by the Korean studio Shift Up and published by Sony globally in 2023. In the near future, humanity is driven from the Earth after losing a war against alien invaders called natives. I know you can't tell verbally, but there's actually a colon separating the NA and the TIVs. This makes it exponentially more creative. In an effort to reclaim the Earth, Eve, who we control, is deployed with the squad to fight the natives and take back Earth. On Earth, Eve meets a conspicuously named man, Adam, who takes her to mankind's last bastion, Xeon. And that's the premise of the entire game. Interestingly, even after being initially announced back in 2019, Stellar Blade is yet to finalize a business model. There has been no word on whether it'll be adopting a free-to-play or a buy-to-play model, but given Sony is going to be publishing it and a lot of time and effort went into it, there's no doubt in my mind that this is going to require a single-time purchase to play. Typically, those do tend to result in higher quality titles anyway, if I'm being entirely honest with you. Surprisingly, Sony has chosen to acquire exclusive publishing rights for the game at present, with a full launch onto the PlayStation 5 only. No PS4 release, no Switch or PC release, although this is definitely subject to change down the line once they've accumulated as much money as they possibly can from exclusivity of the title. Action complete, action combat. Players will be able to utilize a variety of fighting styles and weapon types, participating in close-range melee combat or long-range combat via a multitude of guns, so Americans are going to love this game. It is confirmed that there will be a large emphasis on dodging and parrying, and we're capable of seeing this firsthand in the trailer footage that they've released over time. Some people have gone as far as comparing this to a more Souls-like approach, but this felt more Bayonetta or Devil May Cry-ish to me than Dark Souls. There are plenty of enormous bosses to engage, and players will overcome them through the use of their own unique beta and burst skills. Not entirely. Rather, Stellar Blade is referred to as a semi-open world game inspired by Nier Automata and God of War. Players will be able to explore large portions of the world at their leisure, with both X and Y axis scaling via wall climbing and swinging on ropes, locating chests, gear, and extra costumes. There is no class system present. Rather, players are going to have a distinct selection of weapons to equip. Each weapon, both ranged and melee, are going to feature their own playstyles, their own strengths, and their own weaknesses. Some bosses will be weak against ranged abilities and weapons, and vice versa versus melee. This means that you'll often find yourself investing into a multitude of different weapons and deciding which weapon best suits which encounter. Your character is also further strengthened via the beta and burst skills mentioned earlier, helping your character fill a certain type of class identity. Now, we'll be playing as a predetermined character called Eve, but honestly, I don't know why anyone would opt to create their own character when Eve looks as incredible as she does, and honestly, all of the characters do. Since Stellar Blade is going to be a single-player game, I highly doubt there's going to be any pay-to-win at all. I doubt much sold in the PlayStation Store is really going to drastically affect the core game either, with the majority likely including small boosts or outfits. I mean, this is Sony after all, so it carries that potential to be, but at the same time, I don't think there's anything overly explicit from what I've seen, unless you count Eve's incredible assets as explicit. And let's be real here, we see so much worse on Twitch every day that this is literally borderline PG-13. Very. The world takes inspiration from God of War and Nier Automata, both of which were very large games in their own right. Stellar Blade is going to feature a very large world to explore with a surplus of different zones, regions to traverse. It'll be a narrative-driven game with plenty of difficult encounters, providing ample opportunities for players to smash their heads against their controllers, or throw their controller at their TV in a fit of rage. We've all been there. Players will acquire new gear as the game progresses. Skills and item strength will grow stronger and become much more rare over time, but this does not function at all like an MMO. Currently, Sony plans on releasing Stellar Blade globally. I couldn't find any information online about any type of region locking, so players all over the world should be able to access this game without restriction. I don't believe they plan on holding any future beta tests between now and full release. The game is already mostly complete, to my knowledge, and ready to technically be shipped. If they do plan on holding a future beta test, however, I will make sure to update you all, so I will make sure to keep an eye on it. 2023. Stellar Blade is confirmed to be releasing in 2023. When in 2023? They have been pretty vague when it comes to specifics, but it is nonetheless confirmed to still be on schedule to release this year onto PS5. Probably in the second half of 2023, if I'm being honest with myself. We haven't really heard much of anything over the last couple months, which means that they're probably still several away from releasing it. And that is Stellar Blade, an absolutely gorgeous Nier Automata-inspired action RPG from the people that brought us Blade and Soul and Destiny Child. The game, not the band with Beyonce. This could be an insanely good game, or end up disappointing us to a horrendous level. Either way, I am pre-ordering it on PS5, ready to play. Now, if Stellar Blade isn't of interest to you, no problem. I got you covered with 2 different videos on screen right now. One featuring a list of every MMO releasing this month, and another featuring an MMO releasing in just a couple months from now, one that could be one of the larger releases of 2023.